Hi everyone, I know this video is different from my usual content. It is just the first episode from a now weekly series that we're going to be doing over on my Twitch channel, where we take a look at different cases and deep dive into internet mysteries. So if you want to join us in looking at these cases live, then head over to twitch.tv/Josh Miles. All of the recordings from the streams will be uploaded on my second channel. This will be the only episode uploaded here. So if you want to go and subscribe over there, the link is down below, or just search Joshua Miles Exposed and you'll be able to find my second channel there. But don't worry, do not worry, I will still be posting my usual videos on this channel, just like normal. So don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. I am staying on YouTube, but I'm also doing some Twitch on the side as well. So if you want to find more content, be sure to come follow me over there and enjoy the episode. Hi, second channel, it's Joshua Miles here. We're currently streaming on my Twitch channel. And we're just going to be going through a case that somebody sent my way. We're on my Twitch channel. We're going to try and be doing going through some deep dives of cases in a bit more relaxed manner with everyone here. I'm just going through. This is a Reddit post by u/LivisFix on the 2001 massacre of the Nepalese royal family. The title is, "Were these the actions of a lovesick prince or part of a far more sinister web of conspiracies? In a case involving a country's leaders, who watches the Watchmen?" On June 1st, 2001, a group of high-ranking Nepalese royals and officials gathered at the Narayanhiti Royal Palace for a party. What happened next has been the subject of debates for almost 20 years. But when it was over, 9 members of the Nepal's royal family lay dead, and Nepal would never be the same. Dramatic. The beginning. Nepal's crown prince Dipendra was born on June 27th, 1971 and enjoyed a privileged upbringing as the next king of Nepal. I'm pretty sure it's Nepal. Yeah, I thought so. Nepal's crown prince Dipendra was born on June 27th, 1971 and enjoyed a privileged upbringing as the next king of Nepal. After completing school, he travelled to the United Kingdom to attend Eton College before joining the Nepalese military and eventually earning a PhD in geography. By most accounts, Dipendra was gentle and intelligent, well liked by everyone and dedicated to his country. He was especially beloved by the common people, who nicknamed him Dippy. I'm going to be honest, if someone nicknamed me Dippy, I wouldn't think they liked me. But Dippy had one flaw.
Seton_F followed.
His devotion to the women he loved more than his country. Oh, woman. His devotion to the woman he loved more than his country. Devyani Rana. And much more privately, some claim Dippy had other, more sadistic flaws. Devyani was an aristocrat, also studying in England when she met Dipendra. She was pretty, poised, polite, and everything that you could ask for in a queen, except for the fact that she was Indian. And not only was she Indian, she was from an extremely politically active family. Dipendra's mother, the queen, was strongly opposed to the match. She, like other members of the royal family, feared the influence of Devyani and her family on Nepal. And though Devyani's family was fabulously wealthy, even more so than the royal family, she was of a lower caste. There was also gossip that her great-grandmother was the former mistress of another Nepalese royal. Still, Dipendra was determined to marry Devyani, and his family was just as determined that he would not. As time passed, rumours began to swirl about disinheritance. The party. Most of what we know about the events of June 1st is based on an official investigation carried out by Nepal's Supreme Court and House of Representatives. As I'll get into, this presents a few problems, but for now, the official story. Okay, we're going to be going through the timeline. We get a few pictures up of who these people are, who these characters are. Not characters, but who the main people in this story. Let's see what they look like. So this is Dipendra, or Dippy. And we've got Devyani Rana. I butcher so many words. Oh, she's very pretty. Oh, I see. So basically, she was of a different class to Dipendra, and his family was like, no, you cannot, it's forbidden love, because It's just not gonna work, even though she's far richer than he is. There we go. Right, let's get through into the timeline. Okay. 7:30 p.m. Dipendra arrives at the party, described as a, quote, regularly scheduled family gathering. He plays solo billiards for a while and has a few drinks, then a few more drinks. 8 p.m. He leaves to pick up his grandmother and returns. 8:12 p.m. He speaks to Devyani for slightly over a minute. 8:19 p.m. He sends his aide to get him a specific type of cigarette. Eyewitnesses claim that at this time he's so drunk he's swaying, can barely stand, and has slurred speech. He's helped to his room by his brothers and 2 other guests. Oh, it didn't sound good. That's very quick for him to get drunk in. Less than an hour. To get that drunk where he can barely stand. That kind of indicates perhaps that either there is something else in that drink or he just has a really, really bad alcohol tolerance. Okay, so we're saying that it's quite likely that either he was a big lightweight or there was something in that drink. But I guess we'll find out soon. 8:25 p.m. His aides find him prone in his room and help him to the bathroom where he vomits before dismissing them for the night. So alcohol poisoning or some other kind of poisoning. 8:30 p.m. The king arrives and the guests gather in the billiard room. Is that how you say that word? Billiard? In the billiard room. That's not really a thing in the, like, that's not a game that we play in the UK. It's a very, like, it's just not a game we really play. We play pool, snooker, and just poker and stuff. 8:39 p.m. Dipendra talks to Devyani for 32 seconds on the phone, telling her he is going to bed and that they'll talk tomorrow. After this, no official times were given. Dipendra dressed himself in camouflage fatigues with black gloves and boots. What are camouflage fatigues? Let's have a little look. Oh, they're just a combat uniform. Okay. So he just got dressed up in camouflage. Oh, I guess like military, like this. Okay. Black gloves and boots. He entered the billiard room where he fired at the ceiling and a wall with a 9mm caliber MP5K automatic submachine gun and shot the king. He threw one gun away and shot the king again, also shooting his brother-in-law who was wounded and 2 of his uncles, both of whom were killed. He fired a 3rd time, killing a sister, aunt, cousin and his brother-in-law's wife. At this point, the queen and 1 prince attempted to escape into the garden. Dipendra followed. From here, there were no official eyewitnesses. So, was he actually drunk? Because he just kind of switched from throwing up in the toilet, going to bed, like, very, very drunk, to a massacre. Oh, I can't say that word. To committing some bad times. Was he really drunk? Did he fake that? Let's see. Let's keep going. 9:15 p.m. The bodies of the queen and prince are found and they are pronounced dead. Dipendra is found on his back on a bridge over a pond close to his room. Beside him are several guns believed to be his. 9:24 p.m. The prince arrives at the hospital. With the king dead, Dipendra, as the crown prince, was declared Dipendra Bikram Shah, king of Nepal. 3 days later, still comatose, he died. He was 29. And there's a note here from the writer who says, unrelated, but according to Wikipedia, Dipendra was the 16th shortest serving monarch of all time. Interesting fact. Okay, so let's read the problems that the author of this write-up has come across. Thus far, things seem pretty straightforward. Madly in love and knowing that not only would he be unable to be with the woman he wanted, he would also be disinherited, Dipendra decided to kill himself and his family. Tragic, but not particularly mysterious. But as you might have noticed, the timeline of the massacre comes from the official story, and there are some problems with this story. First, a bit about Nepal. At this time, Nepal was a constitutional monarchy, though once absolute monarchs. After the revolution of 1951, we're having a bit of a history detour here, guys, the role of kings had been reduced, and further even reduced by the 1990 People's Movement. And since 1996, Nepal had been embroiled in a lengthy, bloody, and often humiliating war with the Communist Party of Nepal. Oh dear. As you might imagine, they were not fans of the monarchy. Though it's very unlikely they bore any responsibility for the massacre, this should give you an idea of the upheaval and political instability Nepal faced. Communist or not, many Nepalese people wanted the monarchy gone. Others, though, wanted it strengthened. The new king. One such man was Prince Gyanendra. I'm so sorry if I butchered that. The younger brother of Dipendra's father, King Birendra. In his childhood, he'd had a taste of power. During one of many political plots, most of his family fled temporarily to India, leaving him the only male member of the royal family in Nepal, and for around 6 months, king. Unfortunately for him, this did not last long, and he eventually attended university and married, having 2 children, placed as king by his older brother, who was much loved by the people. In comparison, he was far from popular and considered altogether too slick and conniving. While Dipendra was comatose, Gyanendra was declared regent. Upon Dipendra's death, he was declared king of Nepal. For those 3 days, Gyanendra told reporters that the deaths were not murders, but rather casualties of accidental weapon discharges. Well, that doesn't line up with the official time of events at all, because the official report says that he went in there and started shooting, not an accidental discharge. Also, how do you accidentally discharge into your entire family? I don't know, it just doesn't sound right, does it? Since it was unknown whether Dipendra would live, one can imagine how embarrassing it might have been to have a mass murderer for a king. So this was an understandable lie, though few believed it. After Dipendra was declared dead, he immediately opened an investigation into the events of June 1st. But for many, this investigation raised more questions than it answered. Should we take a look at quickly what Gyanendra looks like? Let's have a see. Let's have a little look-see. Search Google. Okay, so that's what he looks like. Just put some faces. Oh, some faces to the. We've got Dipendra and Devyani. Devyani wasn't there by the looks of things, so very interesting. I also want to know what they spoke about on that 31-second phone call that Dipendra made to Devyani before it happened. Okay. The investigation. In charge were 2 men, the Supreme Court Chief Justice and the Speaker of the House of Representatives. After 1 week, during which they interviewed over 100 people, including eyewitnesses, officials, guards, and staff, they found Dipendra responsible for the murders. So that's interesting. So they only interviewed people for a week-long investigation, and then they concluded that Dipendra was responsible. That's a bit speedy, in my opinion. But many were unsatisfied with this verdict. First, many details in their reports were considered contradictory, such as the fact that Dipendra was stupidly drunk, yet capable of carefully and methodically firing his weapons. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Others pointed to the complete lack of guards and aides present, which, at such a large gathering full of such important people, would have been completely unheard of. How could one man shoot at others with an extremely loud weapon, uninterrupted, for at least 30 minutes in the royal palace of all places? And more damningly, why would the right-hand Dipendra shoot himself in the left temple? He was right-handed and he shot himself in the left temple. That is suspicious. That's a bit sus. But more than any of this, why were just 2 men, both of whom had no forensic knowledge, put in charge of this investigation? Perhaps the most important investigation in Nepal's history. There were no experts consulted, no other opinions called in. I agree. That is very, very strange that they put these 2 people in charge of an investigation who had no idea what they were doing. I mean, realistically, they were politicians. I mean, the Supreme Court Chief Justice has an inkling, but like, you're not a prosecutor or an investigator or trained in police work or anything like that, so you just know the law real good. So you're not going to be able to do an adequate investigation. And there were other problems a little closer to home for the new King Gyanendra. Where had he been during all of this? Away at a dinner elsewhere, quite unusual for him, especially as all other immediate family members were present. What of his wife and children, both present? In the hail of bullets, both his wife and daughter escaped with only minor injuries. Edit, I refer to an earlier source that was later amended. His wife did sustain a serious injury but survived. That's a bit suspicious. His son, also present, had a reputation as a, quote, mean drunk, with a long track record of hit and runs. According to the senior American diplomat at the time, he was known for being incredibly violent towards women as well. Yet, according to eyewitnesses, he selflessly shielded several women with his body. Miraculously, he too escaped unscathed. To some, this seemed almost impossible to believe. Amid such carnage, where the entire families of Birendra and Dipendra were wiped out, how could all three of his family members survive? And how convenient, some said, were the deaths. He only could have taken the throne if both of his nephews were dead, and now they were, and his path to the throne clear, with a little good PR for his son thrown in for good measure. True. That's very true. That's a bit... What really went down? Many of Nepal's citizens refused to believe the official story. This, however, didn't mean much. Dippy, you must remember, was immensely popular, and in Nepal, monarchs are regarded as nearly godlike. Even in such turbulent times, it was difficult to accept that such a beloved figure could have taken the lives of so many, and for an Indian woman at that. Those close to Dipendra also remained suspicious, though, with one close aide arguing that Dipendra was planning to give up his throne to be with Devyani. Why then, he said, would Dipendra do this? If he was going to give up his throne, then there's no reason for him to commit such an atrocity. Regardless, with the end of the official investigation, the matter was closed and Gyanendra was crowned. He, like his son, the drunk, was still incredibly unpopular, and this only served to fuel theories about his involvement. Other, more fantastical theories also abounded. One politician claimed the massacre had been carried out by the CIA, while another alleged that RAW, the Indian intelligence agency, had done it. But if it was someone other than Dipendra himself, it was all for naught. To say King Gyanendra's reign was rocky would be an understatement of the grossest order. In 2006, all powers of the monarchy were stripped completely before the monarchy was removed from the constitution on May 28, 2008. Even to monarchists, this was no great tragedy. Gyanendra's attempts to return Nepal to a total monarchy were singularly loathed, as were his policies of jailing journalists and his dissolving of parliament. If the monarchy's always already on rocks, guys, don't go make things worse for yourself. Don't jail journalists and dissolve parliament. That's just not how you do it. That's not how you can stay there, but the monarchy's gone now, by the looks of it. Gyanendra has repeatedly expressed anger at this decision, and as recently as 2019, has been working on attempting to re-establish himself as monarch. He's not likely to have any luck. He can, however, comfort himself with his fortune. In addition to his previous business holdings, he inherited all the properties of King Birendra, and it is said to be one of the wealthiest men in Nepal. Final thoughts and questions. As with many leaders who have died unnaturally, Dippy has become a martyr for many citizens of Nepal, a symbol of the vanquished monarchy and of the hope for better times. Gone are the almost mythical figures of royalty who were seen as, quote, otherworldly in their bearing. As one reporter put it, the Nepalese royal massacre is Nepal's Kennedy assassination. It will undoubtedly be investigated for decades to come, the details pored over and the inconsistencies obsessed about. Whoever was responsible, though, will not change much. What was lost cannot be regained. So let's read this final note from the author. It says, "Personally, I find this case incredibly interesting. Gyanendra certainly possessed motive and opportunity, but the means are debatable. If he was responsible, the cover-up would be enormous, almost impossibly so. In the end, in most cases, the simplest explanation is usually the correct one, and it is much simpler and much more likely that Dipendra was responsible. though there are just enough small details to make it questioning, or questionable rather. I was surprised to see that this one hadn't been discussed here before, so I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Okay. On the bright side, if you're interested, this has all been adapted into a fictionalized Indian movie titled alternatively Superstar and Stupid Movie. It looks fantastically awful, so there's that. So the questions that the author poses was Dipendra responsible for the Nepal massacre? Oh, Georgie, thank you for subscribing. Thank you. Look, for some reason, Charlie doesn't know your name, but thank you for using your Prime sub. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. If so, how did he carry it out? Is the official account accurate? Should a more thorough investigation have been carried out? Why wasn't it? And did Gayendra have anything to do with the massacre? Very, very interesting. Oh god, what do you guys think? You got it to work? Oh, amazing. Welcome. Let's see what the comment section has saying. Okay, just a few corrections of a little bit of the errors. Yeah, they're just talking about what they spoke about on the phone. This commenter, Such Comfortable 1930, says, I can very much believe Gayendra tried to influence the outcome of the investigation, quote, open brackets, and even succeeded, close brackets. However, that still doesn't mean Dipendra was the culprit. It just seems like a complicated conspiracy. Why not blow them up with a thing that goes boom, maybe in a plane or car, or blame the massacre on a communist or another radical, or perhaps a servant with a grudge. A real prince killing off the family is highly embarrassing, doesn't lead to more sympathy from the people, and just causes lots of unrest. Yeah, you're not wrong. There are a lot of other ways to go about that in that theory. That's very, very interesting. I wonder if there's been any updates recently. I doubt it, to be fair. Let's see. Okay, so this person, Bunwu, says, I'm not usually a conspiracy person, but the idea that he was drinking so heavily he started throwing up in less than an hour, then manages in the half hour between 8:40 and 9:15 to dress himself in a whole new outfit, load his weapons, and accurately locate, aim, and kill his targets, while evading any security or guards, and then making his way back to kill himself, but not in his room, just doesn't make sense to me. The vomiting and passing out indicates a level of drink that doesn't seem compatible with this methodical slaughter. That's so true. Like, even if you've drunk that much in half an hour, even if you're trying to sober up, you're still not going to be sober. You're that drunk. Like, he was throwing up everywhere. He just wasn't in a good way. So it doesn't make any sense to me either. At all. But that's a very interesting case. Thank you very much for bringing it to my attention. Thank you so much for watching this video on my second channel. If you want to see more content like this, you can just hit that subscribe button and that bell icon to be notified every single time I post a brand new video here. If you want to join in on the streams themselves, you can head over to twitch.tv/JoshMiles and follow me over there. I stream games and like Animal Crossing, Minecraft, Stardew Valley, and we'd look at cases like this. Short cases, big cases, deep dives, internet mysteries, the whole shebang. So make sure you come join me over there. Bye-bye.